Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me here on What's Brewing with Gigi and Russell. Russell's going to be with us in just a few moments. Hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed yesterday, got outside. It was another one of those odd, warm October days, and it sounds like we're going to get the same thing today. If you already walked out the door this morning, you may have seen some fog in your area. We've been tracking quite a bit of fog. A lot of our cameras, I'm trying to look if I think our cameras are looking good right now, but early this morning, some of them were just completely fogged up. So please be careful if you're going out on the roads this morning, commuting, but it does sound like that it will be clearing up in the next few hours. Russell will have the total forecast for you in just a few moments. But before we get into all of that, we do have a story on the government shutdown. We are nearing a week into this government shutdown. Tonight at midnight will mark that. And a lot of different programs, federally funded resources are starting to feel that pinch. One of them being WIC, which is a nutrition program designed for women, infants, young children, pregnant mothers. This program allows them to get some food as well as opportunities and support for breastfeeding mothers and other resources like that. So we actually spoke to some Pitt County residents who are a part of the WIC program here, as well as the health department, to talk about the ways that they're navigating this government shutdown and how they're going to be continuing utilizing their resources in a way where hopefully they can still reach their general participants of the program in this time during this government shutdown. So let's take a look at that right here.
Heather Whitehurst remembers struggling financially when she was pregnant with her son, Levi.
I had to get food from like my parents and his parents. They went to like food drives and stuff for us.
She soon got on WIC, a special supplemental nutrition program that provides free healthy foods, breastfeeding support, and more. However, the 50-year-old program that serves nearly 7 million pregnant women, new mothers, infants, and young children could soon face challenges as the government shutdown continues.
Our agency has been through a lot of different shutdowns, a lot of pauses, interruptions, and things like that with federal dollars.
With the shutdown, the federally funded program could run out of money within a week or two, according to the National WIC Association. The Pitt County Health Department says despite the shutdown, their WIC program continues to serve thousands of mothers, and the state is thinking of different ways to stretch the resources.
Looking at how they might adjust the food packages to be able to stretch those benefits longer, how they can utilize dollars from other resources to stretch those dollars.
If funding runs out, mothers and children could receive no benefits, something that Whitehurst says affects her son more than it does her.
All the food that we get from WIC pretty much goes to him and his growing. It would be difficult.
The program is still afloat for now, and Holton says they are going to continue services like normal and help as many families as they can.
Okay, so like Amarachi mentioned in that story, WIC is going to continue supporting those families who are under the program, even during this government shutdown. So a lot to see in the few days in the coming, however long our government shutdown does, continue to roll out. So we will see, and we'll also be checking in with programs like this. I know WIC is not the only program that is, at risk of this funding. I know that earlier today we also had a story about air traffic and flights being delayed for everything concerning the shutdown. So just a lot to kind of keep an eye out for as things, continue on.
Yes, there's been a lot of services unfortunately affected by the shutdown, so hopefully we will see some gradual improvement over the next few weeks, but that is something that obviously is in the back of people's minds too.
Yes.
And of course what we've seen this morning, we've seen some fair skies, but even some patchy fog in a few backyards.
Yes, so we do have I know we were talking about it on the show this morning where it was that October feel out there. You see the fog in the air, and it's kind of eerie, kind of ominous. And you're like, oh, it's like almost Halloween. So, and it really is. We're
It
just
really
a few
is.
weeks
Like,
away.
and I mean, you definitely felt it, you know, certainly with the cool temperatures and even a little bit of the patchy fog that we saw in a few spots. And we're starting to see some gradual improvement, but I mean, again, it's still noticeable across several spots, including at the Pirate Cam
Yeah,
and
let's take a
even
look.
in New Bern, where we are still seeing at least somewhat of a little haze there out in the distance, but definitely some improvement. We're seeing temperatures into the upper 50s, calm breeze right now, time right now 7:16, so we're looking good. Looking at the visibility, so we're starting to see some improvement now, up to 5-mile visibility in New Bern, 7-mile visibility in Washington. But once you start heading towards Greenville, Rocky Mount, and also into Roanoke Rapids, that's where we're talking about a half-mile to a quarter of a mile visibility. So as we take a look at your fog outlook through the rest of this morning, we'll see some gradual improvement, mainly towards hazy skies by around 8 a.m. and then clear skies later on in the day. Temperatures are going to take off well into the upper 70s and low 80s by the afternoon. Southeasterly breeze. So if you've been waiting for some warmer temperatures to return, today's one of those days to take advantage of it, because we're going to start noticing rain chances increasing going into your Wednesday and especially Wednesday night. So we do have a 60% chance of rain in the forecast. So, you know, Gigi, we were talking about that for quite a while in terms of, you know, seasons going back and forth across the area.
I know. I feel like we're in a constant swing of things where we're in the fall and then we're in the summer, and then you were even mentioning the possibility of spring coming soon. It's wild that Eastern Carolina goes through so many seasons in just a week.
Absolutely. And that's why it's always great to basically dress two ways. You know, have, you know, your at least a long sleeve jacket in the morning time, and then by the afternoon, you know, having your shirt and shorts, because it's not uncommon to start the day off very cool, end the day warm, or vice versa. Right. Start off warm or end off pretty cool, like what we're going to be seeing going into Wednesday. You know, we're going to start the day off warm in the 60s and 70s, and then we're going to end the day off pretty cool.
Okay, well, yeah, we're flipping the switch there. That's funny, because I know Dustin and I were on the show yesterday morning, and we were just talking about what do we even wear during this weather. It's so confusing because it constantly shifts. But you're right. I think it's really important to just have a jacket ready to go just in case, and then you could throw it off or put it back on whenever it gets warm or cold, depending on how you're feeling.
It's definitely different compared to like some of the, you know, how it is up in the upper Midwest, where you have that lakeshore influence. But that's kind of the best way to explain it. Like when you're near the lake, it's very cold, but once you're kind of like a few blocks inland, it's obviously very warm. And speaking of warm conditions, I want to say good morning also to Amanda for chiming in. Thank you. Also, good morning to Susan Davis from Stumpy Point. So definitely along the coast this morning.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the rest of your weather for the day.
Oh yeah, of course. So as we take a look at the hour by hour, this is by the afternoon, upper 70s, low 80s. We can't rule out maybe a coastal shower from time to time, but then as we go into the evening and overnight hours, notice the temperatures tomorrow morning. This morning we started off in the 50s, low 60s. Tomorrow morning, upper 60s, low 70s. So a very humid start to the day. Front arrives between 9 p.m. in the afternoon and evening. Notice the temperatures behind the front already in the 70s, ahead of the front, low 80s, and then we quickly drop into the 50s and 60s by tomorrow morning. And then we'll see some nicer weather on tap as we head into the weekend. And then notice what happens. Friday, clouds begin to increase, and then going into Saturday morning, we'll have a coastal low beginning to develop. And so it makes the forecast in the weekend a bit complicated. If the low stays offshore, we'll still see some rain along the Crystal Coast and up towards the Outer Banks. But those strong northeasterly winds could lead to beach erosion and overwash across a few spots. So something just to keep in mind. And these are some of the wind gusts that we could see even after the front passes through on Thursday. So gusty winds 20 to 30. Friday, similar story, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. But then going into Saturday morning there, you see those winds increasing close to 40 miles an hour near the coast. So again, have the rain gear Wednesday. Don't need it Thursday and Friday as much, even though there is a 20% chance of a brief shower. It'll be very small and slim. Mumfest, holding my nose there with the forecast. Hopefully it's not going to be, you know, too wet, but again, you have to consider it, especially with the weather pattern that we've seen in place. 70% chance of rain late Saturday night, early Sunday, and then we clear out going to next week.
Okay, Russell. So, yeah, one of the big things that I'm looking at is Mumfest. I know I will be there. Jim will be there. Will you be there as well? Or
Yeah,
are you?
I will
Okay,
be
yeah.
there Sunday
Awesome.
from 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m. or so. So it's going to be Zach,
Fantastic.
Zach and I. And then are you there Saturday?
I'll
right?
be there
Sunday?
Saturday morning with
Okay.
Jim. So yeah, come check our WITN booth out. Come meet us. If you're willing to brave the rain, if it does happen, hopefully, fingers crossed,
Yeah.
things can change. We still have a few days to kind of work on keeping an eye out on this forecast.
Oh,
But
yeah. And that's the thing, like, you know, it goes down to how the low pressure evolves.
Yeah.
We have forecast models that are all over the place. Some just show like a miniature, you know, low pressure coming
Right.
by, and others turn it into like a nor'easter. So, I mean, we'll see what happens over the next few days, but it's best right now to just keep a close eye on the forecast.
Okay, awesome. But today, looking pretty good, aside from the fog that we're probably still going to be seeing for the next hour or so, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then it'll fizzle out by the afternoon,
Great.
and then we'll bring in the sunshine.
Okay, well, that's wonderful to hear, and it's great for any of the activities going on after school. I know lots of kids doing some sports, maybe soccer, all of that great stuff. And I know that also there are a few national nights out around Eastern Carolina. I know one specifically in Greenville tonight. So things are looking pretty good. Nice to hear that it'll be pretty dry out there, just probably a touch warm.
Yeah, just a little bit on the warm side. And it's going to be humid because, again, we're going to have those southeasterly winds. So if you are heading out tonight, particularly for it's National Night Out, I believe this evening, and then if you're going along the coast, just be sure to take it easy. Also have the bug spray too, because
Okay, yeah.
mosquitoes are still out. That's something that I found out the hard way this
Oh,
morning
no.
on my way to work was I got bit a couple
Oh
of
my
times.
gosh.
So, I mean, you'd be thinking with it being October, it's not that bad, but yeah,
Yeah.
mosquitoes are out.
They were already
All-
out to play.
Yeah.
You're outside for just a few minutes and
Yeah, just only for a
Crazy.
few seconds, and then boom, just happens.
wow, that's wild.
Never
One of the
fails.
things that I wanted to talk to you about, because we were cut off a little bit on air,
Yeah.
food forecast of the day. How are
Yeah.
we feeling?
All right, so let's see. We're starting off with what, 50s and fog this morning.
Okay.
So maybe some oatmeal, maybe, you know, some.
That's good.
I don't know. It's a little bit of a tricky one because we have fog in the mix.
I know.
But maybe
it,
I would
it
say,
adds
like-
a little spice to it.
I'd say keep it simple this morning, and then by the afternoon, maybe like a nice salad, maybe a smoothie
Okay.
because it's going to be on
Nice.
the warm side,
Yeah.
and then for dinner tonight, pizza. You know, something.
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of what I can go for right now.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I always love, Russell, your fashion and food forecasts are like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
So had to ask you.
I may need to make a graphic that just says like that assigns like a food forecast for every
You
day of the week.
should.
So some type of recommendation based off of how warm and how cool it is.
I like that. Yeah.
That'd be
We'll-
nice.
We'll get the wheels turning on that one. But just want to say thank you again, thank you, Russell, for the, the weather
and
updates.
Bob Dahl just mentioned. He says, "I repeat, thanks for these Facebook weather updates. Thank you again for tuning in."
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Bob, for always tuning in with us at our 7:10 hit. We'll be back again at 8 a.m. for another news and weather update. Oh, also, George coming into the comments this morning. Good morning to you, George. Hope you're having a great Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, we'll be back at 8 a.m. for another news and weather update. So hope you can join us then. Have a great one.
Thank you.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.